Well, hello everybody on this Monday evening, updating you on the snow situation. As I promised this evening, we got weather. We'll do a couple updates today. In case you missed it from my morning weather update, we broke several records actually, a few daily records in the 70s, but also the most 70s ever in the month of November, breaking the previous record by three, or two rather. It was 3 days. We had 5 days in the 70s. So it's been a good run, but yeah, you could watch that front go through. Pretty abrupt. Most of the change was within about an hour and a half. We went from the 60s to the low 40s pretty quickly in the Twin Cities, or Minneapolis specifically, I should say, between about 1 and 3:30. Rest of you off to the west a little earlier. Now we've got 20s across western and northwestern Minnesota already. So that's the cold settling in tonight. We are going to drop below freezing tonight for the first time in over a week. But again, it was a pretty good run, so can't complain too much. Swath of moisture though here. This is all along that front, which is sweeping across the entire central and north central part of the country. And it is creating that line of showers, even some thunderstorms for some of us, giving us some needed rainfall. It was a dry week, of course, so got to put some moisture in the ground before we make things much colder, of course, and then add some snow on top of it. So these showers are going to really wrap up over the next couple of hours, mostly moving from west to east. These showers are following that cold front. So as that front continues to track east, so too will the rain. We're going to be watching to the west and south for tomorrow's precip. So there goes the precip from overnight tonight across Wisconsin, again, following that front as it goes. But then tomorrow we're going to be watching for this second round of moisture. That's going to come in maybe as a mix initially, especially in the east, southeast metro, but mostly snow coming in mid-afternoon, heaviest snow late afternoon into the early evening. So if you are still commuting perhaps, it's going to be right in that 3 to 6 p.m. time frame, could be some of the heaviest, but it's done by midnight. So a quick shot of heavy wet snow coming through the area, but it is going to give us several inches of snow. This is the European model, which is lining up best with what I think is going to happen actually. We are going to see a heavier swath, maybe moving through the western and northern suburbs, where we could be talking 3, 4, 5, maybe some 6-inch amounts are not out of the question. A couple of the models I'll show you are going heavier. European model, again, I think is pretty good, middle of the road. One of the problems, again, we'll have, just like we had a few weeks ago, is the models tend to overdo snow this time of year because the ground is warm. Remember, it was in the 70s. But here's the American model, just to show us kind of that upper end of what could happen. You notice some of these purple bullseye. Those are some 5, 6, 7-inch amounts, maybe up towards Duluth, maybe just north or west of the Twin Cities, or maybe even into the Northwest Metro. Here's another model which shows some of those even heavier amounts, primarily off just to our north, but you notice there are still some slight variations in the track. The main thing to take away from these models is going to be a very narrow area of heavy snow. So that's what's difficult trying to forecast. It's going to be about a 100-mile swath of snow, and if it shifts a little bit east or west, that is going to change this direct impact to you. Here's one model that's further south than the rest of them, so there is some of that variation that we could see as far as the snowfall goes. So I'll give you my forecast here, what I expect to happen. Specifically, I do expect the heaviest band to be probably just north and west of the Twin Cities, but coming through some of the western northern suburbs. That's that 3 to 6-inch band up to maybe about Duluth, and then surrounded by it, 2 to 4-inch swath. If you're in the southeast metro, western Wisconsin, maybe the slightly lower end amounts, 2 to 4 inches. Right in Minneapolis, St. Paul, we're looking at probably 3, 4 inches of snow for most of the metro, and this is a change from the forecast from this morning. So basically that area has shifted a little further south and maybe intensified a bit more in the middle. So it's not a huge change from what we're expecting. It's just that track changing a little bit. And then it's going to be cold the rest of the week. We're talking about temperatures in the 30s, 40s by Saturday, which is closer to normal, and another shot of some snow possible here on Thursday.